The new 3-liter V6 diesel that was recently introduced in the Volkswagen Amarok facelift. We have shown you that as the top version Aventura. You can also find this full review linked in the video description. There we also drove the car also on an off-road parcours. Today we're here at the IAA for the commercial vehicles, and we want to present you some more Amarok versions based on this new facelift with the V6 engine inside, and of course a lot of different exterior and interior trims. Here this is a special edition Canyon. We're going to fill in on the details of all of that, and we'll also show you special, for example, ambulance versions and maybe with longer wheelbase. A lot of different variations to come. Very interesting. Stay tuned for that. But let's start here with one of my favorite Amarok versions, Canyon, because, well, it looks quite alike like the Aventura version, but it's 10,000 euros less. Well, why? Well, it's a special edition here in the front. You can see the new style of the front grille, also says V6 horizontal stressing with a huge VW logo, and also with this special off-road style in the lower bumpers, and also for the Canyon model, special orange paint. So to have a very extrovertive exterior to say, yeah, I'm a very special model. The Canyon is meant for off-road driving, and that means not because it's a special model you got bigger rims, no, smaller ones, also in a two-color attractive scheme. But if you want to go off-road, you know you don't need huge rims, you want more damping from the tires, and of course you don't want to scratch big rims. Also interesting from the details section, you even got a VW air cap right here. And also the wheel arches right there, heavily protected because this one is made for heavy duty. There it is, the small detail I just mentioned. Nice, isn't it? A very impressive side profile here with a double cap variant, and you got those special additional lights on the very top. They replace the normal high beam, and this black bar here is called Sports Bar. We have also seen it in the Aventura version. This is more for styling purposes. New taillights also for the Amarok facelift right here. They have more angular shape overall, more aggressive look. And then the loading area, solid inside here, and of course a loading area with the double cap is shorter. If you want a longer loading area, you have to go for the single cap. And there are also special versions available. You will soon also see here in our special report a version where we have the long loading area and the double cap at the same time. And this is the new V6 engine 3-liter diesel, same that is, for example, also used in bigger Audi models. It's just here that it has been tuned for lower horsepower but longer durability. And two versions are available, either 224 horsepower as we have experienced in the Volkswagen Amarok Aventura, also check out that review, or also that accounts for the Canyon model, 204 horsepower. That's the lower horsepower variant. It's a little bit cheaper, a little bit less performance in the acceleration. The bigger here, the 224 horsepower, is about 7.9 seconds, 0 to 100 kilometers or 0 to 61 miles an hour. But the 204 horsepower variant will also do just fine. And the smaller horsepower variant is then also not only available with the 8-speed automatic transmission, but also with a 6-speed manual with an additional off-road gear reduction. Very interesting, especially for the Canyon model to go on heavy-duty off-road trips. However, Volkswagen Commercial Vehicle says that also when you go for the automatic transmission, it will be just fine for off-road riding, and we can actually confirm that at least from the off-road parts we have been driving. The Canyon Special Edition is featured on the Comfortline, the middle trim level of the Amarok. But however, this special edition also features the bigger GPS, the bigger infotainment system, as it is in the Highline, which is then the basis for the Aventura, for example. But most important part here are those special seats that fit the exterior color with a cloth on the inside, very beautiful. And I did not get the real information yet if it's leatherette or real animal skin on the outside. Well, at least there's cloth on the inside. The outside looks like leatherette. I sure hope so. And they offer you a good comfort, this high seating position, and they really hold you tight, especially when you're riding off-road, maybe get shaking around. The inner part here, the closed part, is really sticky, even stickier than normal closed parts. I think that was also done intentionally, that you can really hold tight in off-road situations. Good look to all of the sides, also to the rear. Steep windows, so a very good overview, also to the front. The new interior, as we have here from the facelifted Amarok, has been cleaned up a little bit. The vents also fit to the exterior forms here right now. And as I said, the new GPS, there it is, it's powered. It's not as big as in the normal passenger cars, but it serves the most basic and modern functions. For example, here the GPS, we can show you that. Takes some time to load, of course. And there it is. We are in Hanover at the fairground, and here you can zoom in and out like in the smartphone. Also good from the reaction times. And let me show you the menu, because here you can also have this app Connect, and there you can also have the smartphone connectivity already in the commercial vehicle. That is very interesting. And I'm not sure if you can hear that on the microphone, that I have a small echo right now, because this vehicle is also equipped with the voice amplifier, that the rear passengers can hear me better when I'm talking in the front. So I told you this version here is available with a 6-speed manual and off-road gear reduction. However, this very vehicle we have right here, you can also get with the automatic gearbox we've tested earlier, and there you can still have some differential lock for the rear axle. That would be this button here, and there's a special off-road mode button that the torque distribution is changed a little bit for the all-wheel drive to have it even more suitable for off-road. And again, if you want to enjoy some off-road riding, check out the driving review. That was very interesting. I'm always searching interesting and nice details, and one of those is right here in the instruments, classic instrument. In the middle part you have the digital screen for some GPS info or consumption info, and with the original Amarok visualization. I really like that small one. Oh, isn't it cute? And let's now start with some special variants of the Amarok that are really not from stock. This one here is truly hardcore. I will soon show you why. But first of all, start with this matte gray paint. Really impressive look. And again, for example, you can also see it here in carbon fiber, the special nose to suck in the air for the engine to ensure a higher wading depth. And you can already see those tires here on the side, 20-inch rims with massive off-road tires. And there it is. This is a special version. It's a steel version, not steel as in double E, but IHL. And you can pull it right there to fix it. And well, this usually shouldn't come in with a piece of wood, but with a chainsaw. And so the special chainsaw Amarok variant, very impressive. And of course you can imagine that with any tools. There's also a special toolbox on the top here for the additional tools you might want to need, or safety equipment. And you can of course, for any outdoor work, you can put heavy stuff on there. And then you don't have to reach all over the loading area, but can pull it towards you. And we will also soon show you that outside there are other vehicles where you can have something else on this special rollout bar, so stay tuned for that. Solid door closing sound. Nicely done, although we're in a commercial vehicle segment. And then this is basically on a Highline top trim, but this one is here already in Aventura special model, as we've shown in our full driving review. You can already see it right here. The lower part has this Aventura logo there, for example. And sadly, the Highline usually also means that you get the animal skin seats, which are beautifully designed, but don't have the sustainable surface, and you also sweat on that. But we will soon show you a lot of other different good seating materials that are available for the Volkswagen Amarok. Here also stitches on the inside of the steering wheel. And overall, the Amarok at the moment, from everything we've seen here today so far and from a full review, offers, I think, the best interior for this pickup segment. And probably not the most spectacular variant, but the most relevant variant is this one here, because this is the Amarok in the Comfortline. Later on there will also be a very entry version with the Trendline, but the Comfortline is the middle trim level, and together with the V6 in the lower horsepower variant. This will probably be the most sold model worldwide, because this one you can also get for, like, say, 35,000, whereas the other high trim version, they're easily 50,000, or the Aventura even 60,000, for example, euros in Germany, taking that as a reference. Or also when you have a special build, you can pay like 7,000–8,000 euros extra for some, ambulance stuff or longer wheelbase. We will soon show you. But this one here is a car that can also be accessible for a wider customer group. You can see that's the Comfortline, that because this chrome element, the horizontal fin in the front, is just at the lower part, not the second one in the upper part. You can compare it to the other models. And we also got the basic headlights here. But I think overall already an attractive visual appearance for the Amarok. Also, we got not that huge alloys. But again, if you also use it off-road, like with the Canyon Special Edition, this is not bad at all. I like the loading area here because you can get it in different surfaces. This is not standard here. Standard would be a hard plastic, a durable one. But here you can also optionally get it in this checked aluminum cover. And here in the interior, oh no, we don't have this very cute visual display of the Amarok in the front. Not in a 3D style, but just in a 2D style. What a pity. And the rest of the interior, you can see it right here, is rather basic. And I mean, not bad at all. So what is the main difference? First of all, seeing it here in the front, the non-3D display in the small one in the front. Then here we got cloth seats with stickier material on the inner part and another surface on the outer part, but very good comfort, and I would also just go for them. Why not? The steering wheel you can already get in a good compact and trim, and also adjustable the same way. And here in the middle part, there you don't get the big GPS system. Again, optionally you can almost equip anything. But this one would be the basic trim, for example, already with a Bluetooth phone connection and this audio system. But then you don't have the smartphone mirroring function, for example. Everything else is pretty much the same, also with the differential lock, for example. Here the 8-speed automatic gearbox. Later you can also get the 6-speed manual. But you can see, and that was my point to prove here, that also from a basic or a middle trim Amarok, you can still already get an attractive cockpit. You do not have to go for the highest trim level. And if there's the possibility that we can show you also entry or middle trim level, we really like to take the chance, because quite often also some people ask, hey, why are you always showing so much top trim level cars? Yeah, the manufacturer at the driving events very often just show the very top trim levels, and then we don't have another possibility. Therefore, I would really like to take the chance here today with showing you the version that the most people will also find in their very Amarok interior. Customization is also a very important topic for the Amarok, and therefore we are going to take another look at some special build-ups now for the Amarok, because it's not only that you can pick some special edition models, you can also get some equipment from third-party companies, but they again can deliver it directly to Volkswagen commercial vehicles, that you can still get the car directly just when you order it. So let's start with this one here, especially in my favorite Thomas blue color. So this Amarok here is based on the Comfortline and has a double cab, as you can see it just right here. And you can already see the surfboard on the top. Of course, this is more for marketing purposes, because the manufacturers always think, oh, if you put a surfboard on the top, that's really cool. But maybe you're a surfer and then appreciate that. What's more important with this version here, this supplier called Road Ranger, and it's delivering this hardtop build-up here in the rear. And this is really interesting because you can, for example, use it for tools, that you can also easily access it here from the side. And then you can open again the window with the key, so you can always reach out already right here. And the rear also holds a surprise from this hardtop here. You can open it like this. And then, first of all, again, it is possible to put some tools on there that you can easily access them, because then here, maximum 250 kilograms, you can pull it out. Then you can easily access your tools right there. goes quite wide. But also, it's a funny leisure build up here. We got the barbecue, and so when I do a trip with my Amarok, I could also do, some tofu or zucchini burgers here, right there. It's a nice idea. And let's take a look inside. And I do really appreciate that interior here, because we got cloth seats, also in an attractive 2-color scheme, or maybe even 3-color here, with a little bit brighter on the inside and then dark on the outside. And of course an upright seating position as we're used from the Amarok. So overall a very, very comfortable ride. Like this. You can also adjust the steering wheel again, as in every Amarok right here. And the Comfortline is not the very highest trim level. It would be the Highline, and on the Highline we got the other models on top then. But with the Comfortline you basically get everything you need, so it's also a good price performance tip to go for the Comfortline. And here also on the dashboard you see this rather solid, everything is more hard plastic, but the structures we can see, they look really good, so it doesn't make the very plain plastic impression, although it's hard. As you have the structure here, it also looks a little bit worthier, also with those new horizontal contrasting elements. And as we explained to you earlier, for the first Amarok facelift review, the interior also has been cleaned up a little bit. What about the rear seats? There's a very practical handle, and well, for me, 6'1" or 1m86, that still does work. I mean, don't have the most plentiful space as for the knee room here, but headroom wise, that works pretty well. And again, upright seating position here, so you can also sit with 3 adults here. Basically, in the middle part, however, well, you have to decide if you want some beverage holders that are placed way below there, or if you want to have another passenger. And this is a very special model, because this one here is the Amarok Double Cab XXL. There's also an XL version available with a little bit longer wheelbase, and this one here is the XXL, the even more extensively increased wheelbase. It is not primarily done in the plant from Volkswagen Commercial Vehicles. It's a supplier from the Netherlands that gets the car, but then puts it back again, and then you can directly access it from the plant again, so you don't have to do this additional work on your own in combination with the supplier. You can get it directly from the plant, even though it's not directly done there. So that's an interesting point. And overall, the length here is then 5 meters and 90, so almost 6 meters, so way over 19 foot. And well, in this case, for example, who could use that? For example, if you're a roofer, get some leather on the top, or for all the stuff here in the rear and on the loading area, but still have a double cab, because maybe you want to drive with your fellow workers, and so you can have 5 fellow workers overall together here, but still carry a lot of stuff in the rear. And here you can see very well how this additional part was put in. So the chassis was cut, then this part here was put in, very interesting, but it's still totally stable. And this one here is the massive loading area. An interesting thing is, usually you can get the single cab or a double cab for the Amarok. And if you have the single cab, the loading area is as long as this one. Here with the XXL version, you get the single cab length of the loading area in combination with a double cab. This is the special thing here. And even the electronic stability program has been adapted to this longer wheelbase, that the car is still stable. And very interesting, here with this special build-up, you can also get an air suspension for the rear axle. And at the moment I've put it all the way down to ensure an easy loading. But I can also put it up again, and they can see it, also hear it. And then it's at the normal higher niveau again. Very interesting, and of course gives you some more flexibility for loading in the rear, and of course more comfort while driving. And yet another version here, especially for the DLRG. This is in Germany the institution that cares about water safety, so gets people out of the water if they're in need, maybe if there's an emergency. Very interesting. And of course from the front you don't see too much besides of this special paint, but you can already see the special nose, and this is to get the air in for the engine. And with this vehicle, then you can also go in, in some water that is maybe higher than usual, and because the water, the air is sucked in at the top part, the engine still survives even higher wading depth. In the rear here, maybe they could put some safety equipment in there, for example on there, and there are also special boxes. You can it's very long, maybe some boards or whatever they need. And what's also interesting here, the ground here, the floor, this is a soft rubber-like material that also, when you put some tools on it, maybe it gets, it's sticky. They don't get shaken around. And then there's some here that you don't squish your fingers as a security mechanism like this, and then you can pull them in again. What's interesting here in the interior, here we got Alcantara or microfiber on the inside of the seats, also a very cozy combination. And also a special radio built in here that you can also call the colleagues and hey, there's someone in the water, get them out of there, yo guys. And from the water we go up into the mountains for the mountain rescue Amarok. Worldwide there are about 80 vehicles like this already on the roads from the pre-facelift version. Now also with the facelifted Amarok there will be special emergency lights in the front. Even more important, you can already see it right there in the top emergency lights, and also again with the special nose for the engine. The official wading depth is about 50 centimeters, but it is said unofficially, especially with a special build-up here, that you can also do more by that. And maybe in the mountains, maybe the rescue has to go through some small rivers and stuff, and that will of course help you then to get through everywhere. And maybe the most impressive side profile for today. And the real unique feature of this vehicle is here right in the rear. So like this. And here we go for the patient, and you can unlace it right there, the carriage. So, and like this, and then you can put your special clients here in the mountains up right there, and the doctor gets in and can do some maybe first aid until you're able to reach the final hospital. And you can pull in like this again. There it is. So very interesting vehicle for sure, and I've heard that the demand for it is also growing. You can sit down right there, and of course then they can close it like this. You have to fix it in the rear, and I would say see you guys and have a safe trip here in the Amarok Mountain Rescue.